Welcome back, everyone. Despite the crypto market looking very boring right now, there's actually some big things happening when it comes to ETH BTC and specifically Bitcoin dominance. I've been talking about a very important level with Bitcoin dominance for a while now, and it seems like it is 100% getting respected. What is that level? That level is the 786 level on the Fibs of 66%. We've now had three consecutive, or we currently are in the third consecutive weekly candle in red. Now we'll see if this one closes in red come Sunday night, but it's looking very, very good for Bitcoin dominance because this is giving the warning signs of a potential decline now with Bitcoin dominance and the end of this long-term upward trend that we've had with Bitcoin dominance. And that is very, very bullish for altcoins because whilst right now we're seeing Bitcoin dominance come down, whilst altcoins are also coming down, eventually we'll see Bitcoin dominance come down while altcoins are going up and Bitcoin's going up. They're just going up a lot more than Bitcoin. So we're going to discuss that today. We're going to discuss as well why I'm so bullish this summer, why I think we've got a massive move with the altcoins in the coming weeks. And it's just a matter of waiting right now. And, eventually we're all going to be rewarded. And I'm going to talk about the altcoins in particular, which I would be, 100% focusing on. We're also going to go through a portfolio submitted to me by one of the VIP members. We're going to go through that a bit later on in the stream. I'll talk about the good things in that portfolio and the bad things. And you guys can kind of see me review a portfolio live on stream, and you'll be able to see my thought process as I go through it. I've also got an announcement to make a bit later on in the stream, a really great opportunity for all of you. This is a free opportunity, and I highly recommend you take it on board and you go and do it. So I'll announce that a little bit later on in the stream, but there's going to be a big opportunity for all of you to take advantage of, which is completely and utterly free of cost. Okay, so I'm doing it altruistically to benefit you guys. Okay, let's get into some charts, take a look at what's happening, and then we'll get into the comments. But as I said at the beginning, Bitcoin dominance starting a downtrend here. And if we look at it on the bigger time frames, okay, the RSI has been extremely overbought. I mean, look at it on the monthly RSI there. It just shows the warning signs of a potential correction being imminent. And I always have to give the disclaimer because some people are new to crypto, right? What is Bitcoin dominance? It is the percentage of the total market cap of crypto that Bitcoin makes up. So if Bitcoin dominance is going up, that's obviously not a great thing for altcoins because it means Bitcoin is outperforming most altcoins. Now, I need to give the disclaimer as well. I've actually been outperforming Bitcoin despite Bitcoin dominance going up in the past couple of months. I've already made some nice gains on this channel in the last few weeks. We made a 5x on virtuals. We made a 2 or a 3x on Aerodrome. We made a 2x on Say. We made a 5x or so on Cyan. So we have been outperforming Bitcoin in the last few weeks anyway. But the point is, altcoins in general are not outperforming Bitcoin. It's just a few. It's just few and far between. It's not the masses who are doing well. It's just a small percentage of winners who are doing well. And, that's basically how it is. I also want to talk very briefly about this Robinhood interview I just saw. The guy behind Robinhood, the CEO, Vlad, he was talking about how they're going to be basically tokenizing the entire stock market, how this is the future, and they're going to be tokenizing stocks, ETFs, and how this is really going to be very liberating to people, especially retail investors, because many of us just don't have access to private markets. We do not have access to become a shareholder in SpaceX. If you wanted to be a shareholder in SpaceX, it'd be very difficult unless you have the connections, unless you're a mega, deca millionaire or whatever. It'd be very difficult for an ordinary Joe to be able to be a shareholder in something like SpaceX or OpenAI. With what Robinhood are doing, they're going to be tokenizing private companies and basically allowing anyone to become a shareholder in them. So this is really innovative. This is huge, and it's not getting enough attention, in my opinion. This kind of directly relates to Ondo, because Ondo are doing the exact same thing, and they're the leader in it. Ondo are tokenizing stocks, Ondo are tokenizing treasuries, and I would be putting my faith in Ondo as the project which are going to do that. So just another, step in the right direction in terms of tokenization going on right now. If you guys are watching the news, you can see there's a narrative brewing. I said this in the last stream. It's not there yet, but there's a narrative brewing in terms of RWA and tokenization. And it's certainly benefiting stocks, but we haven't seen it benefit cryptocurrencies yet. But I'm sure we will in due course. So that is a narrative which I'm personally watching. And that's why I've been loading up on Ondo in the past few months. So let's get into the comments, see what you guys are saying. Appreciate you all being here. Please do smash the likes as you tune into the stream. We've got a nice little announcement to make today. Later on in the stream. Free opportunity that all of you can benefit from. So stick around for that. And make sure you're smashing the likes. Mad Greek in the stream. How's it going? Was just talking to Mad Greek over in the mental tier meeting. We just had a little relaxed call over in the mentor tier, and we were discussing with Cryptex, my personal technical analyst, absolute genius. I think he's one of the smartest guys in the space when it comes to TA. We were just discussing with him Bitcoin dominance, and he was giving a thesis similar to mine that he thinks Bitcoin dominance is gonna capitulate pretty soon. And we were looking at different charts. He was giving some levels for Aerodrome. It was an absolute genius call by a genius guy. And actually, in 2 days' time, we're going to be doing a major TA session, educational session. It's going to be kind of a lecture from Cryptex. He's going to go through a PowerPoint, talk about TA, and then there's going to be a Q&A open to all the mentor tier members. So I strongly recommend, if you can afford the mentor tier, that you get in for this TA kind of workshop that we've got in 2 days' time, the 10th. But anyway, to answer your question, what are a couple picks besides Ondo for RWA? There's quite a few. The issue is the backers and connections just are nowhere near as good as Ondo. You've got Swarm Markets, which is like a really gamble tiny play. I think it's a couple million in market cap. You've got Proppy. These guys are tokenizing real estate. They've been in the game for a while. So this is like an 85 million market cap one you can take a look at. You can see here, this is an OG RWA project, and it's on Coinbase. So that's one to maybe consider if the chart looks good. Plume is one which I hear a lot of people talk about. I'm not a huge fan of Plume, but I'm not a hater of it either. I think it has got some potential. I don't remember them raising a ton of money though, but I think they had a decent amount. This one's on crypto.com, so it seems like a more legitimate project. Down 57% from all-time highs. So there's a few out there, but none of them compared to Ondo in terms of actual quality. Another one in that RWA narrative as well, which doesn't get talked about too often, would actually be Injective. We can take a quick look here at the Injective chart. I'm not a holder of Injective, but we can take a look at the chart, see how it's looking right now. Pull up the daily. So let's have a look. I mean, the stochastic on the daily is dropping down, so it's not necessarily a buy right now, but it looks like it's going to approach a good buy target soon. I would be targeting that golden pocket on Injective. If you wanted another solid RWA play, I know you said low cap and mid cap. For a low cap, you could maybe go for Proppy or Swarm Markets. Obviously, they're both very degen, so be careful with them. But if you wanted a mid cap, Injective around $9 would be a great one. Great one to pick up if it hits that golden pocket again. So those are some coins to have on your radar. Archie the man, thank you, bro. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're all doing great. Broke on base, it's decent. Where do you see Bitcoin coming down to in the bear market? Great question, bro. We talk about this all the time in the Discord. Okay. We can look into this. If you want, we can look into this. But I want to give a quick, what would I say? How do I say it? I want to give an alert to everyone that you might freak out, okay? What's the saying? It's like there's a saying where it's like, get ready to be triggered. Triggered alert? I don't know what it is. Trigger warning, and that's what it is. Man, I'm so dumb today. Trigger warning. I want to give a trigger warning here to everyone that this might be a lot worse than maybe you thought, okay? Now, again, I'm not saying this will happen, but just look at this, okay? So, fibs. We all love the fibs. Let's go on the fibs from 2013 to see if we could have predicted the bottom. Let me see how we work it here. Wait. So, this is how I do it. So, basically, we'll go with the fibs, and we'll go from cycle low to cycle high, is it? Let me see. Yeah, so it'd be from 3K here up to here. So we went to set, so the fibs, a great tool, okay? We're going to talk in depth about these on the mentor call in a couple days when we do the TA session. But you can see this 786 fib level. We're going from cycle low to cycle high. Bitcoin likes to come down around the 786 fib level for the bear market low. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here to prove what I'm on about. So if you went from the bear market low of 2019, 2018 to the bull market top of 2021, that would have given you a $17,000 bottom based on the fibs. Where did Bitcoin find its exact bottom? It was at 15K. So a little bit lower than the 786 fib. Let's give another example a little bit further back. Let's take a look at 2015 to this bull run. 2017 bull run here, 2015 to 2017. What level does it give you on the 786 fib level? It gives you 4.2K. The bottom was around 3K. So it's not exact, but it's usually there or thereabouts, okay? And you can see that's where we came to, was just below that level, just below the 786. So what we've got here is a bit of a trend of Bitcoin retracing down to just below the 786 fib level in a bear market. So let's see and project what it could be in the future. So 15K, let's say the top is 130K. The top for Bitcoin could be 130K, let's just say. That would give you 786 around 40K. And we've just seen that it's usually a little bit lower than that. So maybe the bottom would be 35K, something like that, if the top was 130. Now, it all depends, obviously, where the top is, but that would be in next year's bear market. That would be the potential bottom, just below 40K. Now, again, it might be this cycle where it's different, but I'm just showing you a general rule that's played out twice, almost to the T. Bottoms out just slightly below the 786. If the top was 150K, let's just say, Where would it be there? Yeah, so 150K would put the 786 at 44. So maybe the bottom would be 40. And then if the top was a crazy 200K, the 786 would be at 55. Maybe the bottom would be around, 50. So it's very interesting indeed. Obviously, it doesn't have to play out, but I would expect a Bitcoin bottom somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000 next year. The end of next year, beginning of the year after. So 2026 or 2027, somewhere in that region, I would expect the bottom to be based on the 4-year cycle theory. Yeah, I'm still bullish on Peak as a very degen play. Yeah, trigger warning. I had to give it, because sometimes people freak out. You got to prepare people sometimes. But how's it going, Zeesh? Guys, get your questions in. I want to tell you quickly about a little free surprise that I have for you guys, and it is the ability to get a free 10 to 15 minute call. Now, this is going to book up very fast. I'm going to give you that clear warning there that it's going to book up very fast, very quickly. So you should act as soon as you can if you are interested. And I don't see why you wouldn't be interested because it's a free call. And you've got the opportunity to book a free call with my closest representative in my group, who I work with every day. And he knows his stuff. So you've got an opportunity to book a free 10 to 15 minute call with him, discuss your portfolio, discuss an exit strategy, get some sort of plan together. Yes, it's not the longest call in the world, but it gives you a quick opportunity to get some things right. And I strongly, strongly recommend that you do it. I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's literally free. You don't have to pay a penny. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to discuss your portfolio with someone who knows what they're talking about, an expert in the space, and you can get an exit strategy together. You'll get access to some notes that I've made myself, and like I said, it's an absolute no-brainer since it's free. So let me just put the link in the chat so you can book a call. Like I said, it's going to get booked up really quick because there's already a lot of demand for this type of stuff. So it's subject to availability. First come, first serve. So I put the link in the chat. I'll pin it. If you are interested, then obviously get on a call. And if you want a longer discussion, more of a 30 to 45-minute discussion, then you can pay for one. You do get more insights with the paid version. But obviously, you can get a little bit of a call with the link I just posted in the chat and pinned in the comment section. Take advantage of it while you can. So, people have been asking me, what would I buy today? I'm not really buying anything, to be quite honest with you. But there are some things approaching buy levels quite soon. So, not necessarily purchasing anything right now. I've got some stuff on my radar. Got some low caps on my radar. I think Say is approaching quite a nice buy. Honestly, around these levels, Say is a really nice buy, but I'm not necessarily in a rush to buy it at 25 cents. Since I was buying some just a few weeks ago at 15, it's drastically higher. Another one which was reaching a decent buy zone would be Aerodrome. Came down to this local golden pocket almost. So it still hasn't hit it yet, but it's almost come down to it. I think if you can get Aerodrome at 6.6, I told you guys this on the last stream, that would be a great buy. I would put a buy order in for Aerodrome around 6.62. and that would be an excellent buy. RSIs have reset on the daily. Guys, honestly, a lot of these coins look like they're getting ready to move up. The only thing is, I still think Bitcoin could have a little bit of a correction, but that wouldn't be a terrible thing. Like if Bitcoin came down and altcoins went up, that's exactly what we need to trigger that momentum in the altcoins to trigger an alt season. So it wouldn't be a terrible thing. It's just not been the status quo where Bitcoin dumps and altcoins pump. It just hasn't happened like that for a very long time. So I kind of struggle to envision a scenario where Bitcoin is dumping down to 105 while the altcoins are pumping. I just haven't seen that in a while play out, but it's certainly possible. But when I'm looking at Bitcoin, it looks like it could still come down a bit, but a lot of the altcoins are almost approaching great buy zones. Had my one-to-one crypto portfolio session today and officially joined the VIP. The session was very insightful, clear, personalized advice, not financial advice, that helped me see the bigger picture and fine-tune my strategy. Wow. Okay, I'm very happy to hear you got some good good insights from the call, and it was very helpful. The guy's an absolute genius, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it was helpful. And that's sometimes all people need, right? Is a 10-minute call, 15-minute call, talk to someone who knows what they're doing and get things in shape. So I'm really happy you enjoyed it. And welcome to the VIP. Welcome to the membership. The VIP is where it's at. So you'll be able to see my buy alerts, my sell alerts, and join the voice chats every day. So welcome. Yeah, peak's good. It's not really RWA though. It's more deep in. Yeah, the peak chart doesn't look nice. It's looked bad for a long time. So that's kind of the disclaimer that I give with peak is that the chart looks horrible, but the project looks amazing. So it's not one you should go in with weight. How low do you think that Bitcoin dominance will go this year? Great question. I'm personally targeting somewhere between 52 to 56% this year. I'm not a big fan of Arc Block. I would just sell all my Arc Block for Aerodrome or Say. Arc Block was heavily manipulated by certain influencers. They grouped together to manipulate it. Bought some Aerodrome yesterday. Congrats, man. That was a great buy. Did you buy it just above the golden pocket there? Because that was a nice buy on Arrow. I did tell everyone about that on my recent Aerodrome video, so make sure you've got notifications on and you're subscribed so you don't miss those types of videos. But it wasn't a direct hit, it was just slightly higher. Slightly. Sometimes this is the thing, guys. This is why when you have a limit order, you should actually put it a little bit above the level you're trying to target. Because quite often what happens is everyone's trying to target the same level, either the same psychological level or the same fib level or the same support. And quite often what happens is people put their orders in a little bit before they front run it, and then you get a bounce because of that liquidity building up there. So I always say that don't always try and be a complete perfectionist and time that exact level. Sometimes it's good just to put your buy order like 1% higher, and then you've got more of a guarantee of it actually getting hit. And also what happens sometimes is the coin wicks down, then wicks back up, and it doesn't actually fill your order. So those are just some little tips I would give for when you're trying to time some local bottoms. Yeah, both of them are decent buys. I would say Arrow is the better buy though right now. If you're gonna buy Arrow or Say, I would buy Arrow. If you're gonna pick between the two. What's my opinion on Maple Finance? Bundle member here. Wow. Shout out to the bundle members. Maple Finance, I think is decent. It's got a good chart. I've got to say that. The all-time chart looks really nice. It's got good backers. It's on Binance. It's on Coinbase. The narrative that it's in, I like as well. $2.7 billion of assets under management. 9.8% APY. That's insane. Maple's really good. The only thing is it's just pumped a lot. So if you want a project in this narrative that hasn't pumped a lot, I would go for Morpho. But if you got into Maple pretty early, I would just hold it. I'm just saying I wouldn't be jumping into Maple right now as a buyer. I would probably be buying Morpho over Maple since it's not pumped yet. And I don't like chasing the pumps, but it's a decent project. But yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on Injective, actually. I don't have a position, as I said, but it's in that RWA narrative now, and they're doing some tokenization. It's a very quick EVM chain. Obviously, Say is a lot better in my view, but if it comes down to a level that's attractive, I might pull a trigger. And obviously, you guys know if I do end up buying a coin, I'll be dropping a buy alert over in the VIP. They get instantly notified in real time whenever I buy or sell something. So, yeah. Some coins on my radar, I'll tell you that. Okay, there's some degen coins, some mid caps, some high caps, all on my radar. Question is, will I pull the trigger? And if I do, when will it be? If smart contracts for Casper come out smoothly and more DApps get produced, where do you think Casper ends up during alt season? Thing is, it's all ifs, right? Like, if more DApps get produced, like, depends how many people are going to build on Casper. You can have smart contracts, but if no one's building on it, then it's no use. You need adoption. And the issue with Casper is because, and this is the double-edged sword. I always want to clarify this because I love Casper. But if Casper wasn't fair launched, you would be able to have like grants and incentives to these different projects to come and build on Casper much more effectively than some Casper ecosystem fund by a bunch of token holders, right? Or coin holders. So, yeah, I think Casper's main use case is a peer-to-peer currency, and they might struggle to gain a lot of adoption through smart contracts anytime soon. Maybe in years down the line they will, but if coins like Sui and Solana are offering projects millions to build on their chains, why are they going to choose Casper over those, right? A lot of projects in this space, all they care about is money, money, money. And they'll just go to whichever chain will offer them the most money or make them the most money. So I think Casper will do great this cycle, but it's not going to do as well as we all initially thought, because the chart structure has been very lackluster, kind of detached from many things that we were expecting it to do. It just went against those. So I think if Casper gets smart contracts, it could hit anywhere between 30 to 70 cents this bull run. Yeah, fibs at areas, not so much as an exact price. Yeah, well said. But they are surprisingly accurate. Should I sell near and buy something else? What do you recommend in AI/memes? Of course, not financial advice. Yeah, I would flip my near into Sui personally. I just think Sui's got more price potential. In terms of AI and memes, I like Tau and virtuals for AI, and then for memes, I like the memes on Say. I like Fartcoin and Ponky, and a few others. Also, very happy with Pengu. It's not a buy right now, but for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be buying it right now. but it looks decent. Yeah, Aerodrome's chart looked dead. Man, all these other YouTubers, right? They were all freaking out. They were like, sell your Aerodrome, it's going to zero. Guess what I was doing when they were saying that? I was buying the crap out of it. These other YouTubers were saying, Aerodrome's going to zero, kiss it goodbye. I freaking bought up those dumps. Because I buy the fear. I buy into the fear. When there's blood on the streets, I'm buying. All these other YouTubers, they were selling in losses, panicking. I was stacking Aerodrome in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. I was buying. That's why my entries are so good on so many coins, because I buy the fear and I don't jump the gun. I'm patient. I wait, and then I buy in a good opportunity. And that's why we've got so many good entries over in my VIP group. People literally just copy my alerts on Aerodrome. They just copied. They've got a crazy average. They were buying in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. They made a really quick kind of 2x just a few weeks ago. Yeah, HT Crypto loves Injective for sure. Thank you for your answer. You're the only YouTuber I would join the VIP. I'm not a big fan of GFI personally. I think there's better options, but it's not terrible. And yeah, for sure, join the VIP, man. And if you can't join the VIP, at least get on a free call. There's a link pinned in the chat right now. Let me just pull it up. There's a link literally pinned in the chat. You can book a free call, completely free of charge. Book a call, and you'll be able to discuss your portfolio with one of my trusted representatives. These guys know what they're doing. They got years of experience, and yeah, I've trained them as well to be able to review portfolios in a manner which I personally would myself. The reviews have already been 5 stars as well. You can go and check the reviews. Had a one-to-one call. It was incredibly valuable. The session was clear, focused, and tailored to my personal goals. So there's one 5-star review. Another 5-star review. Just had a one-to-one review. Was top-notch. Would highly recommend and believe if you're holding crypto, it's a necessity. Expert advice given. And full analysis on my portfolio was undertaken with realistic targets. Feel a lot more assured about my portfolio now. Thank you. What stood out was the practical, no hype advice. I left with a better understanding of my portfolio's exposure, potential, and how to adjust it for both short and long-term gains. So those reviews speak for themselves. If you want a 30 to 45 minute call, book a call. You can pay for it. If you want a 10 to 15 minute call, you can get it for free. Limited time only, obviously, because it's just not feasibly possible to have. I mean, I've got 80,000 subscribers. It's not possible to have 80,000 people booking calls. But since market's a bit boring right now, I thought I'd give people the opportunity to get one. I could be charging $500 for some of these calls, but I'm not, because I'm thinking about people. Pump Fun releasing their native token. It's good and bad. It's good for meme coin hype, but it's just bad for the for the space's health, And quite often these things can actually mark local tops, like we saw when Trump released his own meme coin. That was a local top. So I'd be very careful around the timing of when they actually release it, because that could be a local top for meme coins, potentially. Just like the Trump token release was. I own a decent amount of Sui and a small amount of Aptos. I'll keep the Sui, but do I really need both? I would just flip Aptos to Sui. Aptos is all right, but there's just more hype and building going on Sui right now. Okay, I'm going to quickly review here a portfolio from one of my VIP members. So I put a post out in the VIP Discord and I just said, guys, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get your portfolio reviewed for free on a video or a stream. So I'm going to do that in a minute. But this is just obviously one of the benefits of the membership, guys. Just one of the benefits is you get your portfolios reviewed. We literally have a section here called guidance. And you can have any chart requested and you'll get analysis on it. So if you've got a chart you want, getting looked at, my technical analyst, genius technical analyst, will go through it. He'll tell you the levels. He'll tell you where he thinks it will go. And this is all part of the membership, no extra cost. So that's definitely something to consider. But anyway, we've got a portfolio here, and I thought this would be a good little exercise to do on stream because you can see through my thought process just off the cuff as I'm looking at a portfolio. Now, some of the things I like to look for in a portfolio is obviously the degree of diversification. I like to see blue chips. I like to see coins which I actually like, obviously, and I like a portfolio heavily weighted around layer ones. I personally think a portfolio should be around 80 to 97% layer ones. Layer ones, layer ones, layer ones. They should dominate a portfolio because if you look at the top 100, they are basically all L1s, apart from a few memes and a DEX or two, basically blockchains. So if we look at this portfolio, for example, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 5 projects are all layer ones, all blockchains. That for me is a great sign. And that makes up about 54% of the portfolio. Now let's see if he's got any other layer ones besides those. No. Peak at 5%. So he's got about like 60% in layer ones, 40% in what I would call other. They can include DEXs, memes, L2s, right, whatever, just non-layer ones, non-blockchains. So I would probably up that for my personal liking. Whereas with the memes, you've got quite a heavy percentage weighted towards memes. So you've got basically 10% plus 5% for Turbo, 15% memes, plus another 7% for SPX. So you're talking in the 20% region plus for meme coins. I recommend 2% or less in meme coins. You've gone for 20% in memes. So you're 10x over my personal recommended weighting of a portfolio towards memes. Now, I'm saying I recommend 2%. That means probably 5% is fine. Maybe 6% is fine. But 20%, that's 10 times my personal ideal percentage in memes. So that is something I would instantly adjust if I was looking at this portfolio. But what I'm happy with is your top 5. They are all solid coins. You can have a little bit of a debate about the, order of these, but it all depends on your goals, right? It all depends on your goals. Like, let me just quickly check the stated goal here. So you said you're looking for a 3 to a 10x. So could Sui hit a 3x? Absolutely, it could. So if I had an order of preference with these, Sui would be at the top by far. I would have more Sui than I would Say, more Sui than Tau, more Sui than Casper, more Sui than Ondo. But Sui is your third in this list. So those are some more minor adjustments I would make, like the actual preference of layer ones. But I'm happy that your main 4 or 5 projects are all layer ones. Ondo actually isn't a layer one yet. I do want to give that disclaimer, but they are becoming a layer one. They're basically a layer one. I mean, they're on Ethereum currently, but I believe they're moving to their own chain, or they've already put in the plans to do that. So we can treat it as an L1. No stable coins as well, yeah. The portfolio has no allocation to stables. I would definitely get a 5 to 10% stablecoin allocation there, maybe. just in case there's a dip or an opportunity around the corner that you're not necessarily thinking will happen. But yeah, this is a decent portfolio. I think it could hit a 3 to 10x. I think it could. There's just some adjustments I would make. If I was having a call with this guy, there'd be a good few bullet points I would note down for areas of improvement. But overall, it's got good diversification. It's got layer ones. It's got a DEX. It's got memes. It's got borrowing and lending. The actual choice of memes are good as well. I just think there's some changes there that I would make to just make it a 10 out of 10 portfolio, whereas this is more of a 7 out of 10 portfolio, I would say. There's some good areas to make it better. Stephen Bate, how's it going? Ethereum pumping. Let's take a look. I did mention at the start of the stream that Ethereum's looking good compared to Bitcoin. And yeah, Ethereum is pumping right now. That ETH BTC chart must be looking really nice. ETH BTC. I'm about 5% stables myself. But anywhere between kind of 3 to 10% stables, I think is smart. ETH BTC. Let's take a look. There we go. There we go. Looking good. Wow, so that would be considered a golden pocket there that we hit, depending on where you bring the fibs. Yeah, ETH BTC looks good. Bitcoin dominance must be bleeding out a bit then as well. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance taking a bit of a nosedive here. Looking good, looking good. Man, it's all coming into place. Or into play, whatever the saying would be. Both of them make sense. But yeah, it's all looking good right now. Hopefully Ethereum can actually push out above this kind of resistance line here where we've rejected quite a few times. That would be good. Whale, thanks for the donation. I'm not in that pre-sale, no. I very, very rarely do pre-sales. I don't like the lockup periods. They just kind of... I prefer to be very liquid. Like, buy a coin now, sell it tomorrow if I want. But these pre-sales, sometimes the vesting schedules stretch out years and years and years until you get your tokens. I want them now. Yeah, the market's having a little bit of a bounce here, but we're still not out of the woods by any means. I mean, Bitcoin needs to essentially close a week above 110.5 for us to actually be like definitively bullish. We're still kind of in a no man's land. That 110K is still a major level of resistance that we've rejected at numerous times. Arrow picking up some strength. That's good. Yeah, Arrow's going to be an absolute beast, man. Like, if you believe in base and you believe it's going to keep growing, then Aerodrome is an absolute no-brainer. What are my thoughts on Egra? I haven't looked into it a great deal, but I know that obviously it's on Casper. It's going to be doing the based roll-ups on Casper, so it sounds bullish, but I'm staying away from any Casper ecosystem projects right now, just because Casper's performance has been very poor in the last year. So until that turns around, I'm kind of staying away. Can I buy Arweave and Render today? They're both good, solid plays, but there's coins I would prioritize buying over those today. What do I think about ICP? I don't like the all-time chart. Casper's 50% of my portfolio. Should I move it to Ondo and Arrow? Yeah, for me, 50% is way too much at this point in time. 50% a year ago maybe would have been good, but now the chart structure is kind of off. I wouldn't be recommending that much. I don't have anywhere near that much in my portfolio. And I would be looking at some more diversification into coins like Sui, Ondo, Arrow, say. That's what I would be doing. But one thing you can do, could you be a perfect candidate for this, is book a call. Literally go and book a call now with my guy, and you'll be able to talk about your portfolio on a call with him. So there's still some availability actually for tomorrow, Thursday. So I would book a call if I was you and discuss it on call. There's availability tomorrow at 1:30 UK time, 2:30 UK time, 2:30, 3, 3:30, and 4:30. So there's a lot of availability there, man. And it's a great opportunity to get on a call for free, discuss your portfolio, and you'll also get a little exit strategy together as well. I don't know why you would not do it. I mean, if there was a free opportunity for me like that a few years ago, I would have taken it 100 times out of 100. I learned crypto fully on my own, but I'm telling you, if I had a mentor who knew what he was doing and he could have helped me out early on, I would have fast tracked it even more. I'd probably have $100 million by now if I had that. Like, I've done well in crypto, but I don't have 100 million yet. But I'm telling you, if I had a mentor next to me in the early days, that would have fast tracked everything. Because I was starting from basically no one, no one around me knew anything about crypto. I fully learned it all myself at the age of 14. Imagine at 14, I had a guy just next to me telling me, nope, that's a bad coin. Nope, you shouldn't do that. I mean, I would have not made loads of mistakes that I would have made, or that I did make. So it just prevents a lot of mistakes that people make. If you've got a guy who knows what he's doing around you, it's a big, big help. But yeah, market's looking pretty good right now, in the short term, but let's see what happens here at 110. I've seen quite a few rejections now at this point. I've not necessarily got the inclination to believe that we're going to break out on this run. There might be a little bit more of a bleed out, and then we break out. But one thing's for sure, Ethereum is looking good. Do you know the perfect scenario here would be Bitcoin going down to like 105, Ethereum pumping, altcoins pumping, so that Bitcoin dominance drops, and then we're like definitively in a downtrend on Bitcoin dominance. If we can get definitively in a downtrend on Bitcoin dominance, this is going to be absolutely beautiful the next few weeks. It would basically just, confirm a breakdown on Bitcoin dominance. Just give us that confirmation. That would be the ideal scenario. My portfolio is too embarrassing to share. Well, that's exactly why you should share it, because you need to get it in shape. Crypto is not a joke, man. You should be getting your portfolio in shape and addressing these issues, not being embarrassed about it. Being embarrassed isn't going to get you anywhere. I'm not embarrassed about anything. Like, I don't know why people get embarrassed about stuff like that. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream here. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We're seeing a nice little bounce here with the market, so hopefully it sustains. As always, make sure to get yourselves on that VIP membership. The VIP just keeps getting better and better day by day. And remember as well, in 2 days' time, there's a mentor call regarding TA. My personal technical analyst, absolute genius guy, is going to be doing a presentation discussing technical analysis and how you can chart cryptos to the best level, to the highest level, starting from beginner, aiming for that expert level. So highly recommend you join it. And yeah, check out all the options down below. And 100%, this is for everyone. Go and book a call using that link pinned in the chat. It's a free one, and I'm sure you're going to get a ton of value from it. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you all in the next